Hello, my crafty friends. Well, I've been asked to talk about spinning cotton, and the person who asked me didn't say they wanted to know the differences between cotton and wool. They just said they wanted to know about spinning cotton. So I'm not certain how much information that they are wanting, but I do want to show some differences between cotton and wool and why that helps us understand why it's different to spin. Um, and they asked to find out about combing cotton and spinning it. I do want to say that I understand that term combing we hear a lot, especially when it comes to wool, because you do comb wool. You don't comb it with these. You comb it with something with spikes on it, and they comb through the cotton and pull it, and that's how they make top. And it straightens out all the fibers, but they're metal tines, long metal tines that you stack the wool on, and then you comb it off of there, and you go do it back and forth. That's called combing. This is called carding, and these are wool hand cards. These are modern ones. Let me turn on the focus for a minute so you can see. I want you to see the differences between these and the cotton cards. Okay, you can see there is some space between, you can tell it especially up here, there is some space between the sets of tines, and they're offset. So you have space between them going this direction, but then they're offset into each other a little bit going this direction, so that way it kind of fills it up better. These are old wool cards. They do the same thing that these do. They're just old, and the tines are all turned down. They will still work. These were done in, made in leather, and these in rubber. And this is what you find now. These are from the 1970s, so they're new old cards. These are really old. I'm not sure how old they are. These came with my spinning wheel. When I ordered my spinning wheel, I ordered it from the Netherlands, and these hand cards came with it. Like I said, I don't know how old they are. They don't have any identification on them at all, but you'll see that they're curved, whereas these are flat. And wool cards come in both shapes. Modern ones too come in a curved shape or a flat shape. These are cotton cards, and you can tell there's a big difference between them. They're a lot longer, but they're also much finer. I don't know if you can really tell that, but they're much finer and closer together. The tines on here are. And you need that for cotton because cotton is such short fibers that they need to be, that your tines need to be shorter. They're shorter, as well as set closer together. And these are also set in leather, because it's an old set. Okay, let me pause for a second and get these out of the way. Before I attempt to try to use these cotton cards, I've never used them before. I just bought them and I have them because I learned how to spin off the seed, and I really enjoyed that. So I never have actually carded cotton. I'm going to learn in front of you because I think watching me do it for the first time maybe will help it be easier for you if you decide you want to do it. You can buy cotton cards, modern ones, and they are long, and the tines are set together really small and close together like these. So this is a good representation of what you can buy now, except these are old. But you can also buy cotton in a preparation like this. Okay, this is cotton. This particular, I've got an assortment of them because I wanted to try some different ones and see the difference. This is Sea Island cotton. These are all natural cottons. I don't think any of these have been bleached. They're just cotton. Okay, so here you can see, okay, this is this is our staple length. I don't know if you can even see that. It is very, very short. Okay, if I put my hand this close together, I can still pull those apart. That shows how short cotton is. It makes cotton more difficult to learn to spin because you have to be more in tune with what's going on. You have to spin it faster and tighter than you do wool. You can spin wool very loosely and it still holds together because it has crimp that it loves to connect with itself. So wool will catch on itself and stay together pretty easily. Cotton does not do that. Okay, this is Pima cotton. So this is a longer, this has a little bit longer staple than that other one. But it's still relatively short, see? And just for fun, I want to show you the fact that you can buy cotton in colors. This is natural cotton, organically grown, and you can only buy these from certain growers because where I live, we're in cotton country, okay? And I don't know if you can even grow colored cotton in Texas because if this gets in with the cotton that they grow here, that will taint it. It will, because the whiteness of cotton is one of the ways it's graded. And so if you've got brown cotton or green cotton, and you're growing it around a field anywhere near white cotton, it will degrade the quality of the white cotton. Also, brown cotton and green cotton, when you wash them, they only get more of their color. So this will be darker brown when it's washed than it is right now. This is what it looks like now. And it will, let's compare it to the Pima cotton, okay? Now this is not pure white, but it's much, much whiter than this. And you can see if you're going for as white as possible, you don't want this mixing in. So you do have to be careful. This is green cotton. Okay. Now it doesn't really look green, but once you wash it, I think it gets greener. But you can tell it is different from the brown and different from the cream or the white. Okay. I just wanted to show you that. You can buy it like this and you can spin it straight from this. And you don't have to prepare it. It's all prepared for you. But there's something kind of like buying a fleece and preparing the wool. You're washing it and going through the combing or the carding or the flicking or whatever method you choose to prepare your wool. If you're doing it for fun, that's part of the fun process. And for me, cotton is the same way. Now this is some mixed cotton I ordered it from Memphis, Tennessee. This one too, they're just two different mixes. This one is brown and white, and these are both natural colors, okay? This is natural cotton that was mixed. And I bought it like this. So I can spin it just like this, and I can have a variegated kind of cotton yarn. This one is gray and white. I don't know if you can get gray cotton or not. I don't know. So I don't know if this is natural or if the gray cotton has been, dyed and then put with the white. But anyway, you can buy it all different colors. Somewhere I have some that's been dyed with indigo. I'm not sure where that is, so we're not going to worry about that. I just wanted to show you that if you want to learn to spin cotton, you do not have to have hand cards to do it. You can do it with just a small spindle. The hand cards, if you want to prepare a lot of it in advance and you want to spin a lot of cotton, then the hand cards would be nice to do. to use. They're expensive though, so it's not something you want to get. Now these I found on eBay, and they were a really good price. I don't remember what now, but I wouldn't have bought them otherwise. So so I got a good deal on these, or I wouldn't have bought them. But new ones are, you know, $100 or $200 or $300. That it just depends on the brand. I would say $100 to $200 for these. And I think the wool cards are, last time I looked, they were about $70. Okay, this is a spindle. It's just a little homemade spindle that I've been spinning this cotton on. This is cotton from the seed. Okay, the seed is right in here. And so that's how I like to spin the cotton, is from the seed. And let me just, I've got a smaller, lighter weight spindle somewhere. But you spin it a lot like you do wool, except it has to be spun tighter. And right now I'm going to spin it supported. Most cotton is spun supported because the fibers are so short. And you do, as it's like wool in that the more fibers you put into it, the fatter the yarn's going to be, and the less fibers you put into it, the more you draft it, the thinner it's going to be. But it's fun to spin off the seed. And I've spun before and measured it, and you can get more than a yarn, more than a yard of a singles yarn spun off the seed. And if you spin it thinner, you could probably get 2 or more. So we're just spinning it just like we do wool, but it's cotton. But you do have to spin it a lot more, because when you ply it, it relaxes. And if you didn't spin it enough, then you don't have a strong, sturdy yarn. So this is a cotton that I spun just off the seed, and it's pretty sturdy. It's pretty sturdy yarn. Okay, now I wanted to show you that because this person was asking about combing. I'm assuming they meant carding, so we're going to talk about that too. I enjoy spinning it off the seed just because it's fun. This is cotton, and this cotton I picked out of the field. I start to say garden. I picked this out of the field myself. Hannah and I went out. One of our friends in the guild raises cotton, and we went out and picked cotton from her field. Okay, so this is one cotton boll. See, it has 5 parts to this cotton boll. If I take one of these parts away, then we've got, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seeds in here. And to spin from the seed, you just fluff it out like this. And it's very soft. And then you attach it on. And you spin. That's all the preparation that's necessary. This is not speedy spinning. If you're wanting to spin cotton to produce a lot of yarn, you don't do it this way. This is just because it's fun and relaxing, and it's just cool to know that you can, you know, and that's why I spin cotton. I just spin it for fun. I do intend someday to make a yarn from some cotton that I've spun. I've got several little spindles that I've spun cotton on. And I plan to, you know, ply them someday and make yarn. But right now I'm just spinning for the enjoyment of spinning it. Okay. And this so far, other than spinning a little bit from that roving, that's the only way I've spun cotton. When you take it off of here to use it, cotton has to be cotton has to be boiled and to clean it, because there's oil in cotton. Cottonseed oil, you've heard of cottonseed oil. Well, there's oil actually in the cotton too, even if you take the seeds out. Now, there won't be as much in this because the seed didn't get any of it ground up in here. But when you buy cotton and it's from the mill, some of those seeds have gotten ground up in there a little bit. And so there's even more oil in that. But there will be oil in this, and it will come out into your water. I've seen somebody do it. It will come out into your water and turn the water yucky black. Gross. But you need to do that for your yarn to be clean and white. It's not going to be white like this. It'll be this cream color. Anyway, there's that. And here's the seeds. Now, if I want to use these cards to card my cotton, this is why we got cotton gins, because you have to take the seed, you have to take it off the seed. So in order to card the cotton, I got some more work to do here. I got to, get it off this seed and get the seed out of the way. Let's get those seeds out, really out of the way. And so you have to, this is how it was done for years and years and years until they got cotton gins. So it's hard to, let me just show you, okay? Here is the thing that the cotton is on. Let me find one that's on here. Okay, it looks like this, okay? This is spiky, and you can easily mess up your hands with it. Now, this cotton is special hybrid modern cotton, so the bolts are really big. It's easy to grab this and just pull it out, okay? But the kind of cotton my grandma grew up picking, you would get your hands all beat up before the end of the day trying to get that cotton off those bolts, because it wasn't like it is now. And then once you've done that, you've got all these little bits you've got to take out. And we'll get to that in a minute. In order to get this cotton ready to spin. Okay? I didn't realize I was dumping that stuff right on top of my cotton here. Okay. We're going to go ahead with this one because it doesn't have any of that stuff in it. So we're going to go ahead and keep taking the cotton out of here. Let me check. I think I've got some that went through. No, I don't. I thought I had some that went through the ginning process, and I may still have it here somewhere. We went to the gin, and we watched them, and heard all about their process. Our guild did on a field trip. So I have seen it, and I did somehow come home with some that was ginned, but it had all these little black specks in it from the vegetation and stuff. It doesn't come out this clean when you get it from the gin. So even when the companies that you buy your cotton preparation like this from, besides ginning it, it has to go through a lot of trouble to get to where they can put it in a preparation like that. So okay, let's do another one. Like I said, I haven't ever used cotton cards before, so I don't know if it's better. I know it's better with wool to not overfill it. I don't know what's full and what's not full for cotton, so we're just gonna put some on here and then card it. And hopefully I won't make too big a fool out of myself, since I'm going to be learning how to card with cotton right in front of you. If you have access to a cotton field, just ask them if you can have some, and make yourself a little spindle like this with a toy wheel and try spinning it off the seed. especially if you spin wool, it'll be a lot easier for you to do than if you're starting from scratch and you've never spun anything. But even if you've never spun anything, don't let that stop you from trying if you want to learn it. So. Okay, there's a little piece of something right there. It's not a seed, but it's something that's hard, so I'm going to take it out. Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and do so that this ends up being one bowl of cotton, and we'll see if that's too much. It's probably quite a bit, actually, to do a whole bowl of cotton here. But we're going to try it. Now, also, when I hand card, I usually do that in my lap. And so I may, if this doesn't work, I may have to change my camera angle and all that stuff to get it where I can do it, where I can get the camera to, if I want to do it in my lap. So we'll see if I can do it with the camera like this. If I can't, we'll just move the camera and I'll do it in my lap like I really would normally. And this is really exceptionally good cotton. I think they got a really good price for the cotton this year. She told me later that it was one of the best cotton crops they'd had in a long time. So, so you might get cotton and it might not be this good. This is very soft and silky, and it's very white, and since I don't know if those cotton seeds would grow cotton or not. I meant to try it and see. I would imagine that the seeds have been genetically modified and they probably won't grow cotton. But anyway, let's put this up. Okay, now then, when you're hand carding, I know with wool how to do it. I'm going to do it like that and hope that it works. You just pull and this is when having it on your lap really helps because it gives you something to brace against. Okay, let's just turn it. Now these are old, so new ones might work better, or my technique just might not be good. But you can see it's transferring from here over to here. And you're just moving the cotton, if I can get it to come up. Okay, let's just pull it up and see if we can get it to transfer over. It might be that these are the little bits that should not be transferred and that I should have left it alone. I don't know. And we're going to go ahead and do it again because you want to... And it's kind of like this. I don't know if you can see that motion. There's some vegetable matter that got in there. I don't want that. I'm not sure. I guess I caught that over there because it wasn't in there before. Okay, let me throw those away so that I'm not grabbing them. Okay, now then, let's assume that this is good. Okay, then you want to take it off. To take it off, you brush it backwards. Well, you would if it was cotton. Maybe you don't brush it backwards if it's cotton. I mean, you would if it was wool. Maybe you don't do that if it's cotton. But you have the piece. This is a messy, messy piece, but I'm assuming it would look better if I was, you know, more practiced. But whereas you wind up, at least from what I've seen, where you wind wool really, you wind it kind of loosely. You wind cotton really tightly, okay? So that it's this tight little piece, and it's called a poonie, okay? And I don't know how much, I'm not getting it really, really tight, so I'm just going to go ahead and roll the rest of it up on here, because I think they would, when they roll poonies in India, they do a much better job than I'm doing, and they get them very tight, and you can spin quite a bit of yarn off of a poonie. So it's a really dense, it's really dense compared to a wool rolag, okay, or rolag. I've never spun from a cotton poonie either, but I have spun from now, when we were learning about spinning wool, I said you could buy dog combs and you could card wool on dog combs. I don't think you can do cotton on dog combs because these are so short and the fibers are so short. But because see, I'm having a hard time getting all this wool, this cotton out of here anyway. So we're just going to set those aside, and we're going to see if we can spin from this. Now you want to leave a little fluff just like you would if it was wool. Let's go ahead and do this one because it's smaller. Maybe it'll be easier for me to control. And you spin it, and when you spin cotton, you spin it just like you spin wool as far as the direction of the spin and the spin one direction, ply the opposite direction. I do have somewhere a Tockley spindle that you spin supported. I've never tried to use it. It's one of those things that I've been planning to do, but just never have gotten around to. So if you have a Tockley spindle, there are videos. I think on YouTube you can find videos of people spinning with a supported spindle, spinning cotton with that kind of a spindle. I just spin it with this because this is what I'm used to spinning, and it actually works. So, and I have spun cotton suspended. You do have more chance of it breaking the yarn and ending up dropping the spindle with cotton than you do with wool because the fiber's so small. And if you overspin it, that's what happens. If you overspin it, it breaks. It lets you know. Cotton's pretty bossy. It lets you know if you do something wrong. So you have to spin it a lot. And sometimes what happens is you're spinning and you got a really thin part, and then you spin thicker, and when you're trying to get enough spin in that thicker part, that's when you overspin the thin part, and that's what breaks. So consistency in your spinning is a really good deal. spinning it here like this under the camera is not as easy as, you know, if I was spinning it in my lap or something. So, but I'm managing to get a fairly uniform thread. And this is actually spinning. I didn't think that the yarn would look as nice spun or feel as good spun from a puni as it does from the seed, because I know that I'm spinning fibers that are stretched out from the seed, and this is fibers that are all wound up, but it's making a really nice yarn. So if you have some cotton cards and you have access to cotton, this is cool and fun. And it would be faster than spinning from a seed, because you don't have to change every 5 seconds to another seed. So that's something to keep in mind. And most of the time when you're learning how to spin, one of the first things you do is park and draft. And that's basically what I'm doing here. I'm spinning and getting the twist built up in here, and then I'm drafting my fibers out. And in order to do that, you need to park this somewhere where it won't unspin. And it won't unspin if you just set it down, usually. And I am spinning it supported because I'm holding it in my hand. It's not taking, the yarn is not taking the full weight of the spindle. And when you spin it unsupported, the yarn is taking the full weight of the spindle. And you can see that the yarn I was spinning on here when I spun it before, and it's been a while, was much thicker than what I'm spinning right now. And this was probably 3 years ago when I first got all this cotton that I ended up doing this. So, you know, you get better the longer you do it. Now, if I wanted to spin it thicker, I probably can, but it's not easy to spin cotton thick because you need so much twist. And if you, the thicker it is, the less twist you can put in it. So it's less stable as a thick yarn than it is as a thin yarn. But if you ply it, now I'm having troubles getting it to come out of my puni. I was trying to make it thicker, and it's not wanting to be thicker. Sometimes your fiber tells you what it wants to be, and this fiber does not want to be thick. See how hard a time I am trying to get it to draft. And of course, the punis were developed to spin thin, fine cotton. So, so we shouldn't be surprised if it doesn't want to spin thick cotton from this puni. Of course, this also is not a perfect puni. It's my first try at a puni. So, P-U-N-I. That's how you spell the word puni. I have to admit, I don't have as much struggle, you know, spinning it from the seed, because it's easy to draft off of a seed. It just, you know, is happy to come off of there. It's not as happy to come out of this puni. And you can't draft as far either, because you can only draft half of your staple length, and the cotton staple length is very short. So you have to draft small and twist a lot. And you always hold it here so that when you're twisting with this end, this does not come up in the twist. You don't let the twist come up into the puni, and then you open up your hand and you let the twist come in while you're doing it on purpose. You know, you're paying attention. So you hold this, and then you pull from here, and then you pinch and let the twist come in there. Then you hold this and pull from there and pinch and let the twist come into there. So you constantly got the twist is either pinched off here with this hand while you're drafting, or it's pinched off with this hand while you're spinning. So you're constantly keeping this twist out of your puni. Okay, let's spin it some more. And let's see what this yarn would look like. To test your yarn, you just fold it in half and then pull on it like this. Now when you're actually plying, you can add a little bit of twist, so you can do that when you're testing it too. And this is what let me turn on my focus. This is what the yarn looks like. This is a two-ply cotton yarn. So once you spin it tightly and you ply it nicely, then you've got a pretty, I literally am trying to break it and it's not breaking, a very strong yarn. So very cool. I hope that helped, and I hope that if any of you want have any questions, or you want me to do another demonstration or something like that, you can. I have never spun cotton on the wheel because my wheel is it has a bit of a gait to it, and the only time I ever tried it just ripped it apart all the time. Maybe because I'm a better spinner now, I might be able to do it. I don't know. I don't know. I would have to probably mess up a lot in order to be able to do it, but I might try it someday. I don't know. Right now I spin cotton for fun, and so I spin it, I usually spin it off the seed. But thanks for the question, and if I knew how to say your name, I would. But thank you for the question, and I hope that I answered your questions, and I hope that I made you want to spin cotton more rather than making you want to spin it less. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye-bye.